Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of some Moonboard climbing. Today we are going to talk about this session I had a few days ago, maybe been a week at this point. It's probably my best Moonboard session I've had ever, and that's why it's long enough to take up a whole video, because there's so much climbing. Starting out with this one from the last video, if you remember, physical. When I'm much more fresh, I was able to take down that cruxy second move and get it done. And today I want to talk about really the purpose of a lot of this moonboard climbing. As you can tell, I'm going through a lot of climbs around the same grade, V9/7C, depending on which system you prefer. But as you can also tell, including this last climb, a lot of them are going down very straightforward and quickly, and it's not necessarily normal for climbing at your limit. The reason behind that is that V9 is not my limit. However, I'm relatively new to the moonboard, and so I've wanted to try myself out at climbs that are below my limit so I can improve on the style. So by the time I get to climbs that are more difficult for me, around 8A, 8A plus, or V11, V12, kind of the maximum grade of the moonboard, I'm much more prepared to really try these climbs. So as you can see, I'm definitely making progress compared to some of the previous episodes, as I took down inversion with a bit of a beta break in that last video and made a quick ascend of one of the newer benchmarks, Lizzie Latex. So here's one I haven't tried before, called Hold It or Nah, and I actually was surprised myself and made a quick flash of this one. Definitely wasn't my prettiest climbing, but I managed to get it done, which was very nice. And I just want to kind of apologize for anyone who's been watching these videos. You probably were hoping for some harder climbs than V9, but trust me, I have 6 of them left. They are coming soon. I'm gonna have a few more episodes out of going through some of the V9s, but very hopefully, very soon, I will have more V10s and 11s on this account when it comes to these longer form videos. Now, here's a fun little boulder I want to talk about for a moment, called No Leverage. And what's interesting about it is, in fact, it requires a lot of leverage, in my opinion, with this move right here to E13, which is a very common hold if you're climbing any of the V9s on the moonboard, at least for benchmarks, that is. It really requires a lot of weight on the left hand, and going over to this hold is definitely not an easy move. But once you have to come out of it, it's not an easy release either. I think my height definitely helped me here with this move, and it definitely helped that the right foot was so positive and on such an edge, but I was able to hold that for long and then take a nasty dry fire off. And so, yeah, a lot of falls that probably shouldn't have happened, but that's what it's like when you're learning a board. And I've still only been climbing on this board for a few months now, and it's still been a bit of a steep learning curve. But I mean, the fun thing about this is a lot of these climbs, when I first tried them a long time ago, or some of them I haven't, like some of the ones I'm showing, but some of the ones that I have tried a while ago, I wasn't even close on them. And now I can just do them easily. Like if you remember some of the ones from the last episode, like Twist of Fate, and that one felt impossible to me, and I was able to day flash it. It's just absolutely crazy how much progress you can really make. Here's a fun little one. And the fun thing about this climb, not only how cool the moves are, but also the fact that I genuinely thought this climb looked impossible, and I looked it on the app, and I was not feeling very confident in my ability to do it. but I was actually able to dispatch it with relative quickness. There was really only one difficult move on it, and it was this, I think, the fifth move, coming up here, where you have to bump in from this high foot onto this right hand. And it was just really, really precise. And I was able to hit it every time, but it did not feel comfortable or in control whatsoever. But it was, I did climb the move and execute it with a lot of control. Just didn't feel like there was going to be much. And that's sort of an important thing, I think, when it comes to the Moonboard, is controlling your body. Because as you can see there on that last climb, Galaga, I had a lot of control in my body. But then when I fell, you can see how much tension I'm losing. And the fact that my body position is just requiring my finger strength to kind of override the fact that I don't have all my limbs on the board, nor do I have my hips in a good position. And that's just something you see a lot when it comes to some of these Moonboard climbs, but especially a lot of climbs where you kind of have to sit low on the holds and focus on your feet. Sometimes you can end up burndoring or kind of having weird falls. Talking about weird falls, I do not know why I fell on this climb so much. I mean, look at that. Punting the finish like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. But luckily, I took that as a sign that I was going to send the climb at some point, because this was definitely not one of the harder climbs in the Moonboard Benchmark V9s, but a few beta tweaks here and there, bumping in, and it was much more casual when I actually was able to do it. Now, what you might not notice, and I don't always record things like this, are there are some of these climbs, and I just try them, and I try them, but I don't actually make very much progress on them. Or if I do, it's on like one move. This is one of those climbs. I haven't tried it a lot, and I still haven't done it yet, and it's just not easy on really any move whatsoever. It's definitely one of the hardest 7Cs on the board. I don't necessarily think these goes are the best representation of the goes I've had on this climb, but they aren't bad representations, let's just say that. It's just a very big second move, and not necessarily easy moves otherwise. But here's another one, if you remember, that I tried last episode, and again, slight beta tweak, and it just turns from something that feels weird to something that feels casual. So hopefully that'll happen with Sober and some of the other climbs like One Armed Robber and this one, Forever and Ever, that I've tried a decent amount and haven't exactly felt the closest on. Because at this point where I'm at, I have those 3 climbs and a few other left, and I want to get them done because I really want to get into the V10s, because I genuinely at this point think that the V10s, all of them, will look easier than the V9s that I have left. And it's just crazy to think that, but grading on some of these boards can be quite weird. Now, this last one is another one I've tried before, and let's just say I did not like that move out to the left, and it felt pretty casual, if I'm not going to lie now. But the finish, a bit of a drop, and yeah, I kind of just had to hold on harder, which is, as you can see, what I'm about to do. And now that we're getting close to the end of the video, I want to thank anyone who decided to watch this video. It's fair to say the last video did not do as well as anticipated compared to the first video, though neither did particularly well. So thanks for watching. Please share, like, subscribe. Bye.